Hi, I'm Bobby Peer with TAPinto. We're into the hats now. We're 8 weeks into our isolation period, and we're doing our weekly catch up with Mayor Angie Devanney. Hi, Angie.
Good morning.
Um, we want to talk about how parks are starting to open. We're loosening the valve, if that's the correct terminology, but we're seeing improvement. So what will we see in Berkeley Heights as far as opening the parks?
So Governor Murphy did sign an executive order this week allowing for state and county parks to be open, but the discretion for county parks really lies with each individual county. So for example, in Union County, we have Passaic, we have Horseshoe, we have the Reservation, and we have Snyder. Also, the governor has told folks it will be passive recreation only. So what does that mean, right? That means walking, running, biking, hiking, maybe fishing, of course, using social distance. And all the protocols. If you're near somebody and can't be 6 feet away, then you need to have a mask on or to cover your face. And as I understand it, the parking lot in Snyder will remain closed. Residents are allowed to use the trails at Snyder, but the fields and the parking lot there will remain closed. There's also a walking trail along the Passaic, or from Passaic Park to the Passaic River. My understanding that will also be opened. So it'll be nice. It's got a beautiful weekend, so if you can take a nice leisurely walk with a family member, that might be something that you can do this
so
weekend.
No sports, no
sports, and township, our playgrounds are going to remain closed, fields are going to remain closed. My understanding is that the track area at GL is likely to open as well, so we're trying to be
on Saturday.
Yes, Saturday at sunrise.
Oh, great. Okay.
So we're trying to be consistent.
Okay.
Lower Columbia, walking trail around Lower Columbia will be open to residents. So any passive recreation is absolutely fine, but once again, please use social distancing.
And this is a gauge, correct? So the better people adhere to the rules, the quicker we will be able to open up more to the public.
Absolutely. It's opening up that valve just a little bit to see how things go. And that's sort of the barometer that I'm sure the county is going to use, and they'll reevaluate that maybe next weekend, and maybe they'll be a little bit more open. You know, as a township, we're also looking at this very intensely, and would like at some point to be able to maybe open, for example, the tennis courts. Right. And then maybe we would rope off every other court so we can ensure social distancing. But that's something that we're looking at very intensely over the weekend, and kind of seeing what happens with everybody's behavior.
Oh, good. That's, that pickleball, they're fierce people, they're fierce competitors. So at least we're moving forward. There's hope that in the near future, there'll be more to open up. So what else has gone on? I did see that bulk pickup is starting on Monday. Is that?
Absolutely. So very excited. We did at our virtual council meeting, we did pass that resolution. So very exciting. Yes, bulk pickup will begin on Monday. Check our website for your section or your street if you're not sure which section that you're in. That'll continue through May. We're also finalizing the chipping program. So again, check the website for more information. Make sure that your sticks are lined up the appropriate way. We continue to do our regular programming, street sweeping, basin repairs. We're trying very, very hard to continue government business as usual. Right. It's interesting. We've got our DPW crew separated into two different teams. One team is working out of the old Little Flower Church, and the other team is working out of the current DPW offices, just so we can keep everybody apart. No one gets sick. They stay healthy because they are so integral to what we do.
Right, and just even doing spring cleanup of the fields, and just it's that time that they're busy.
Sure.
So can we talk a little bit about the business community? And we just had an economic development committee meeting where we all got on the call. We did a Zoom call, and we're trying to brainstorm on, we started the discussion, let's put it that way, of how we're going to move forward to help these businesses. Do you want to enlighten the public on what we can talk about? And there's a lot of unknowns.
Sure. So I think that it was really important for us to get that committee back into meeting because when we emerge from this, we need a strong business community. There's a very diverse group of businesses in Berkeley Heights, and they each have individual needs. And so we are trying to make sure that they stay afloat during this really difficult time. I mean, for me, it's always eye-opening to hear the stories and some of the things, the tribulations that our community is going through. I think there's an assumption out there, and I deal with government agencies and phone calls all day long until the evening. And so I have some sense of the fact that, there are loans, federal monies that are flowing through banks and so forth, but that money is very difficult to get. Even the second round has been very difficult for some of our businesses to get, and they've been doing things like changing banks and putting in new applications, and yet the financing is finite, or they haven't heard back. They don't know what's going to happen. So I have to tell you, I thought yesterday was very eye-opening for me.
And it did seem like there are a lot of questions, and the answers aren't readily available to these business owners on how to use funding if you get the funding. So there's a lot of unknowns, and also about getting employees back, because there's been a lot of furloughs and layoffs, and the people that are still waiting for the loans paying their monthly rent for their storefront. We're in such a transition time that the answers just aren't there right now.
No, and I think we're all sort of waiting for guidance. And, even when you do have guidance or regulations as part of this funding, it seems to open up that many more questions. And there's such a gray area. And, I'm doing my part, as best I can to try to get to our state legislators and our governor's office to try to get assistance for our businesses, or as it relates to the CARES money, trying to get questions answered through our U.S. Senator Booker and Senator Menendez's office, or through Congressman Malinowski. So, and I hope to continue to facilitate and help the businesses.
Good. Yeah, I look forward to continuing that conversation, because once we are open, and crossing our fingers that outdoor dining could open in the near future and go from there, how do we get the community back to feeling safe visiting our businesses? So we'll continue that conversation. But is there anything else that we can talk about that maybe the public would like to know about?
Again, I just, we all kind of laugh, right? It's Groundhog's Day. I think we all feel like we're doing the same thing over and over again. I continue to participate in my county and state and federal calls. The public health crisis still, for me, first and foremost, in my job responsibility. And I spend a great deal of time making sure that we're safe. I think we're approaching some very nice weather this weekend. And I just want to admonish everyone, please continue to use all those really important protocols, social distancing, please don't congregate. I know it's probably really attractive to try to do that. Wash your hands when you're out, you come back in, just get into that habit and be safe, and please take care of each other.